Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Krisk the Ageless, so let's get into it. Alrighty, first of all, if you'll notice on the top left of the screen, my account says Gold Rush Chosen, and this was actually a special account for a contest that Plarium put on with me and a few of the content creators in getting to Gold 4 first, and I was able to win that event. And a big part of the reason why was summoning Krisk the Ageless. So just really quickly, Plarium gave us all a bunch of shards to pull some champions, and then we kind of had to go from there and get to Gold 4 as fast as possible. I was lucky enough to summon Krisk. It was a huge factor in me being able to get to Gold 4. I was able to do it in about 3 days, and you'll see here on this account I was able to get to about 3,500 in just a few days, and Krisk was admittedly a big part of that. He was an account carry for my progression, and I was able to really get into some content fast, and he's an amazing champion that I wanted to make sure and go over before I give this account away, because I don't even have Krisk on my main account. So it was really fun to have Plarium do something cool for us all, to be able to kind of get an opportunity to use champions that we might not have on our main account and kind of start from fresh and experience the grind of developing an account. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of a backstory as to why I'm doing this guide, how I'm able to do this guide, how I acquired the champion, and why I'm on this account, because I'm sure that question would have come up a lot in the comment section. Also, please forgive me for the tons of energy and resources I'm sitting on and not using. It's actually because I'm going to be giving this account away like today or tomorrow. It was part of the contest that Plarium put on. We're able to give away these accounts when the contest is over. So I don't want to spend the gems and the silver and the energy. I want to wait and give as much to the person who gets the account as I can. So that's why I'm sitting over max energy, and that's super rare for me. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and start it off here. So Krisk is in the Lizardmen Void Legendary Defense Champion right here. And as always for my champion guides, I will have a link in the video description to one of these little infographics that shows everything, like the grades, the current masteries that I'm using on the champion, and all of that. But one thing I do want to note about the masteries is you may not want to blindly copy mine. I was using Krisk for a rush contest. I was simply prioritizing that. So don't blindly copy masteries just in general. You always want to kind of build them yourself, but especially now, you may not want to copy mine exactly. I'll go over that in a little bit when I pull it up, but it was mainly just for the rush scenario that I was in. So let me put that away, and a link to that will be down in the description. So Krisk is kind of one of the newer Void Legendaries in Raid. Not a lot of people have him yet. Obviously, Void Legendaries are the hardest champions to acquire in the game. Couple that with the fact that he's pretty new, which means not a ton of people are going to have him. If you have him and you're watching this video curious on how to build him and what he's good for, congrats, because you have one of the better and hardest to acquire champions in the game. Now, a base speed of 94, not amazing for a Void Legendary, but he's really, it kind of synergizes with him because he's kind of supposed to go last in your rotation, and I'll kind of get into that here in a little bit. We've got an A1 that attacks all enemies with a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and again, his damage is based on defense. His kit is kind of based on scaling with defense, which are generally thought to be the best champions in the game. So he's a defense scaling Void Legendary, so an absolute crazy good champion. Then we've got the A2, again another AoE, places 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion, places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on this champion for 1 turn, and increases the duration of ally buffs by 1 turn. That's why I said you kind of want to build him to go last in your rotation sometimes. You get all your buffs placed, and then boom, he goes last in your rotation, slams those buffs up 1 more turn. That can be extremely impactful. Then the A3 is place a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns, places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. We can get that to a 3-turn cooldown with a couple books, and that is extremely impactful. That's again another amazing ability. Then the passive. At the start of each round, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 50% of this champion's max HP. Has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense and a 50% decreased attack debuff on the attacker for 1 turn when hit. We can book that up to a 100% chance. What? This passive is, let me think, probably the best, either the best passive in the game or one of the best passives in the game. you get basically a shield set for free. At the start of each round, a shield buff on all allies equal to half of this champion's max HP. And this champion's a sustained champion, so you're probably going to have pretty good defense and HP. Then we can book this to being a 100% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense and a 50% decreased attack debuff on the attacker for 1 turn 1 hit. That's just so good. Those are 2 of the most valuable debuffs to have in the game, and shield is amazing. We get 3 of those all wrapped up into this amazing passive. And if you're curious, Krisk does take 14 books in total to max out all of his abilities guaranteed. Alrighty, so let me back out and kind of pull up the Krisk here I was using during this competition, and here he is. So you'll see here that I really wanted to get good speed and HP on him because I was rushing for the arena. So I got some speed, some accuracy, and some HP pieces. I want him to land those provokes to help me rank up in the arena, so I needed the good accuracy, also the decreased speed for the more sustained battles and stuff. And this is obviously very introductory gear. This was a rush. We did not have time to grind god tier gear. I had to get to gold 4 as fast as possible, so there wasn't a whole lot of time to sit here and grind dungeons for weeks to get perfect gear. In this account, we started from scratch with no gear on it, so it was very tough to get amazing gear. I'll kind of show you, I prioritized getting the boots to 16. I didn't have enough silver to do the rest, but I wanted to get good speed and my whole arena team to help me rank up in the arena. This was the chest I went with to get more shield, again to get more shield, accuracy, defense, this to get more shield, and this to get more shield. So I wanted that shield to be really impactful in the arena so I could take a wave, help my team perform a little bit better on defense. And my team actually got to gold 4 on its own, like just by letting it defend. So if I would have played long enough without even like spending my tokens, just setting my defense as, let me show you here. As you can see, I haven't even been playing in the arena for a couple days, and I'm still sitting at 3,500. Krisk is a big reason why. This was the defense I was using, and just by letting it kind of sit here with Hara specs, using the speed aura, and then boosting turn meters, and then Krisk and Saris debuffing Xavia there for damage, I was able to really rank up in gold 4 just by kind of setting this as my defense without even having god gear or anything, and Krisk was a big part of that reason why. So now I'll kind of show you, I said I would go over the masteries really quickly. This is what I was using. Again, I needed those provokes to land, so I went with the Eagle Eye as the tier 6 mastery, and then obviously the defense and support trees. You can kind of look this over on your own time. Again, I'll have a link to that down in the vid description where you can pull this up at your leisure. But yeah, so just showing Krisk and kind of how he performs in a so on this account within a couple days, I was able to get to about Dragon 11. Xavia was my damage carry, and it was a little bit rough getting to a level that was spirit. So Krisk and Saris kind of had to help pull the weight here and help me progress. You can see the white part of the bar there on the HP. That's the shield that Krisk is placing with, so you know, extremely impactful. Based off of his HP, he's going to place that shield at the start of every round, so really good in the arena and dungeons and faction wars, helping you kind of be able to progress and clear content that you may not otherwise be able to clear because you wouldn't have enough toughness to kind of keep your DPSers, damage dealers alive. But Krisk can really help with that, and he was a big part of my progression in getting to these levels of dungeons as fast as possible. Obviously, in a rush type scenario, I wasn't able to get to like Dragon 20 or you know, progress as far as I would have liked to. I kind of had to focus on just clearing what I can quickly, get some introductory pieces of gear, and then get to gold 4 as fast as possible. But I was super happy to have Krisk, and he definitely shined on the account and really was a big part of me getting, you know, done what I wanted to get done. And who knows if I'll ever even have him on my main account. I hope someday, but at least I get to give this account. I'm glad they're letting us give it away instead of just scrapping it. And the fact that I get to, you know, give it hopefully a newer player access to kind of some of these cool champions and an account that's already gold 4 potential and all that should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned on my channel. I'll get that. Well, actually, now that I think about it, this video might be coming out after my giveaway video, so hold off on that. I've got a lot going on right now. I'm recording a bunch of videos at once here, so I don't know the exact timetable on the releases. I may be releasing this after the giveaway video. All right, so yeah, there you can see that's kind of how Krisk was functioning in dungeons and kind of helping me stay alive and clear them. So that is that. And I also like to, in these videos, talk about the booking process. I don't have the books available to book him, but if I were going to book him, I would really be looking for... This is so good. To get this from 5 to 3 turns, this Invincible Shell is an insane one to prioritize on the books, and really this buff chance. That's the 2 that I would really prioritize. But gosh, this is so impactful as well to get this to 3 turns. I mean, really, he's just worth maxing out. Like, he's an amazing champion, and now that I'm sitting here, I can't even really suggest anything to, like, stop at. I mean, all of these books are so impactful, and he's a Void Legendary who's based on defense with lots of AoE and amazing passive, so much utility. If you're able to max him out and get the books, the booking process, really, I mean, all of this is so good. So I would just kind of slowly work on him and slowly invest those books in him. I also like to kind of go over the in-game grading system here. So recommended artifacts, they're recommending defense and HP. That's not bad. That's a pretty decent recommendation. Maybe like 2 pieces of accuracy would have been good to kind of show newer players that he needs accuracy, but that's not bad. I've definitely seen them recommend worse. Then in terms of ratings, definitely I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 5 in the arena. He's just very good there. Campaign, he's not a great farmer, but he's good for like 3-starring the campaign, so I'll give him a 4. Clan boss, he's pretty good. Again, he's got a decent chance of placing that decrease attack and decrease defense when he's hit, and he increases buffs. So I mean, yeah, he's pretty good, but he would require a pretty specific setup to really get the best utility out of. I'll give him a 4. Spider Den, I mean, I'll give him a 4. Minotauri's great, definitely a 5. Dragon, it's more of a speed farming, but he'll be fine. I'll give him a 5. He's amazing for the golem, and he's gonna be fine. And that for the Fire Knight, he's actually not that good. Yeah, I'm gonna give him I'll give him a 3. I mean, he's still a really good champ, so it'll help with like the waves and everything, but that's not his best dungeon. Then for the Force Keep, he's a 5. He's got that ability that lowers defense, which is very important in that keep. The Magic Keep, he's not going to be super good. He doesn't remove shield or anything. But he's such an amazing champion. I can still give him a 4. He just is not like S tier there. Spirit Keep, there's no heal reduction or anything or buff removal. But again, 4 is kind of a baseline for his general utility. And then he would be a 10 in Faction Wars. I mean, he's just absolutely insane in Faction Wars. So yeah, again, I want to make sure and say a huge shout out to Plarium and the other contestants that were in the Gold Rush, Hell Hades, Stu Gaming, Cold Brew, and Verdi. Go ahead and check them out as well. That's why I was able to, do something fun like this and experiment with this champion and have him on an account to kind of play around with. And it's why I'm able to do this video. So again, a link to that infographic will be down in the description. If you want to pull that up and check it out, just be mindful that the Masteries, you may want to go a little bit different because I was kind of building him in terms of using him for this Gold Rush event. So yeah, anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.